Hello everyone and welcome back to My Opinion. India have beaten England by 4 wickets in the second ODI to clinch the series 2-0 with one match left to play. Let's get into this review. Starting off with the 11s, I looked at the English 11 before the match started and I knew whatever they did, they would lose the match looking at that bowling attack. I don't know. I put a tweet as well. I replied to a post that I don't know who authorized that attack to go out. Yes, you're picking from who you've got, but you picked those players. You're looking at who can bowl 10 overs in India, which was something I brought up in the previous video. Can Mark Wood bowl 10 overs in India? No. Saqib Mahmood, if he bowls 10 overs, is he going to scare you, especially in these conditions of batting friendly that I alluded to in the previous video? No, he won't. Gus Atkinson, the speedometer hasn't crossed 130 kph when he usually looks about 140. He's looked way off sorts, and that's why certainly he will not bowl 10 overs. Jamie Overton, a lot of people have been saying with either bat or ball, what has he been doing? And Liam Livingstone will not bowl 10 overs. And at the end, when they had no one else, they had to bowl Joe Root to a team that's on the door to victory. So apart from Adil Rashid, who in this side can bowl 10 overs, especially in this part of the world? No one. And so you've put yourself in a position where in a series decider ahead of a one-day tournament, this is the attack that you're fielding. And on Jofra Archer, there's two things. One, were they just resting him? Then I don't get that because he played every match of a 5-match T20I series, including the last one where he's gone for 55 and the opposition scored 247. He could have easily rested for that one and play the second match here. And if you lose this match or win this match, fine. If you wanted to rest him for one of the matches, fine. But this is the most batting-friendly surface that you play on in this series. You're looking at this attack and you're busy resting Jofra Archer in this match. I don't get it. You could have easily rested in the next match, even if you'd won this match, because there'd be more for the bowlers to play with in the next match than here. I don't understand the thinking there. And if there's an injury concern, then England will do worse than the champions in the Champions Trophy than I originally anticipated. I don't think they'll get out of the group either way. And now for the Indian 11, I thought Arshdeep Singh would play in place of Harshit Rana because of the batting-friendly nature of this venue, and that it would be good to get him to bowl 10 overs before the tournament alongside Shami. They didn't do that. They wanted to test Harshit Rana, and I'm sure they will leave him out and bring Arshdeep Singh in the next ODI. Another thing is, now they brought in Varun Chakravarti in place of Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav, the previous match, bowling in turn conducive conditions, 1 for 53, 9.4. Was it an optimal performance? No. He's been returning from injury, and with how good of a bowler he is, you can expect him to bounce back. I'd have given him another chance in this match, and what I would have done is I would have dropped one of Akshar Patel and Jadeja for the third ODI and played both Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav for them to compete for that sole spinner spot alongside the two all-rounders. Whether it's because of an injury concern or you're resting him or you just want to get Chakravarti in to see what he'll offer, I feel would be sending the wrong message when, yes, in conditions where it's more batting friendly, Chakravarti 1 for 54 in 10 overs. You could say, given the condition difference, a better outcome, I'd say, because if you're looking at the control that he exhibited, especially at the start, he bowled a lot of half trackers and full tosses, which surprisingly Joe Root and Harry Brook didn't capitalize on. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he bowled better than what Kuldeep Yadav had done at that time. Just the outcomes are differing in terms of the context of the match given the conditions. So I would have waited to play Chakravarti. I would have played him in the last match competing with Kuldeep Yadav. And if you really wanted to make... I'd said both Jadeja and Akshar have to play at this venue because of its batting friendly nature and you've got to secure the series first. But I'm confused with the decision that they took to leave out Kuldeep Yadav unless they're thinking Kuldeep Yadav is They were thinking before that Kuldeep Yadav would be in a short starter, but now since they've given the opportunity to Varun Chakravarti, had the outcome been better for him than it was, then we may get a case, and we may still get a case where he starts over Kuldeep in the Champions Group. And Josh Butler won the toss and chose to bat first. I thought the correct decision. And once again, England got a very good start in the power play. The Indian bowling was tardy, short and wide, and at times on the pads. And I won't talk much about Hardik Pandya's bowling once again. It was disappointing to see the options that he took. So England were 81 without loss in 10.3 overs. Feel so dismissed. And I spoke about Ben Duckett's lack of game sense before. You saw on the T20I series the same type of dismissal where there are 3 boundary fielders on the leg side. You're on 51, you know the rest of the side don't go too well against spin. You've got to take responsibility as a set batsman. What do? You know you won't clear those fielders. You give a catch to them when you're on your way. In this case, it's the same thing. You just lost a wicket. You're in a very good position in the match. You're a set batsman, and you do the same thing, hitting to one of the boundary fielders on the leg side. It's very poor shots, lack of game sense on show once again. But I think the one positive, well, apart from that, they've been getting consistent opening partnership starts in the last couple of innings. I feel with the way Joe Root and Harry Brook apply themselves, Joe Root, he does that, but Harry Brook especially, the scorecard would say 31 or 52, but I thought the way he looked to dig in was something that we haven't seen thus far. He hit an outstanding shot for 6 over cover of Varun Chakravarti, and just as when he was looking to unleash, he got a delivery from Rashidana that he would have fancied his chances, hitting a fantastic catch from Shubman Gill, and he was dismissed for 31, but I thought he showed the application that he hadn't been showing thus far. And Josh Butler also was playing well. England were 219 for 3 towards the end of the 38th over. Just at that crucial juncture, Josh Butler hits a half volley straight to Shubman Gill, cover 219 for 4. And the reason why I say that is because looking at this lineup, is Livingston a sure shot to contribute at number 6? No, he's not. The rest, they can bat. Is there a capacity to provide a match-winning contribution? No, there isn't. So it's up to the top 5. And any other side, if you're 219 for 4 and you had batting into number 8 or so that you could count on, they would have got more than 300 for 4 all out. But in this case, apart from Livingston scoring 41, you knew the others wouldn't do too much. Jamie Overton, once again, a poor outing with a bat. Gus Atkinson, was he going to do much? No. Adil Rashid, 14 of 5 at the end. But if you're weighting that contribution along with what England lacked, then it didn't do too much. And there was a one point where if Livingston had got out for 25 instead of 41, they would have got less than 300, which, given the foundation the top 5 had set, would have been an injustice to that performance. So 304, I thought India would comfortably chase this down. In 47 overs, they chased it down within 45 in the end. And I confidently put a tweet towards the start of this innings, the second innings, that if Adil Rashid did not better 1 for 49 in 10 overs, England have got no chance of winning the game, and we saw what happened. And now on the Indian bowling figures, Mohammad Shami, he's looked very rusty in his comeback. There was one ball that there was some movement where the ball went down the leg side. KL Rahul took a good take. Apart from that, he has been fairly rusty in all the matches that he has played, and it hurts to say this about Mohammad Shami, but can you go into this tournament as you did in the 2023 World Cup, where you could say, right, he's going to really perform at the peak of his powers? And I don't know, even though in Dubai, in the UAE, generally the fast bowlers striking up front is a huge component of winning there. Shami in those conditions can do that. I think he'll enjoy bowling there, but given that he would succeed at a great degree as to what we expected before, I don't know, but I hope he does well. And Harshit Rana, I'd said he'd go for runs in this match, and on this surface, he did go for runs. Varun Chakravarti 154 and 10. I'd said the competition between him and Kuldeep, we have to see how that goes. And Jadeja, once again, 3 for 35 and 10. So before this series, I'd said since the ODI World Cup, Jadeja's bowling has been a shadow of what it previously was, and this is in all formats. But In this case and in the previous match as well, you saw that he has returned with great contributions. And they did a split screen of him and Akshay. They've done that before, where I'd still say, even though he's bode well in these two matches, how is that going to bode well for the future? I don't know, because I don't think things have changed much since before. But if you're looking at the way they release the ball, Jadeja is more likely to get significant turn than Akshay Patel. A lot of the time he gets the wickets by the ball going straight on. The batsman misses a straight one, LBW or bowled. And I feel if Akshay can get that turn element into his game, he'd be a much better threat than he is now. Because still, I'd say on a turning track, if India don't score a high score, who has been in better form with the ball, Akshay? But who do I think has got that extra skill set as of now to be a threat on the turning kind of wicket? I would still say Jadeja. And now in the Indian batting innings, I expected Rohit Sharma to do well in this innings. I'd said in the previous video that my captain for the Champions Trophy would be Shreyas Iyer, and I'd play Jaiswal ahead of Rohit in this match. And I'd said if they wanted to give him a chance, this would be the surface to do so. And with the way England selected, this would be the attack to do so. I knew a class player like him would not relinquish, or he would not let this opportunity go to score against this kind of an attack on the surface, and he did exactly. And I'm not taking credit away from the contributors in the scorecard, because I expected them to play well. They are class players. I'd said what I'd said based on a form basis. It didn't look like he'd score runs. He scored a blistering century. We saw the old Rohit Sharma where he played. He hit sixes over cover off the fast bowlers, and the way he got to a six off Adil Rashid over long off to bring up his century, his 32nd century. I thought he could have gone on to get 160 not out to make it a really statement, even more of a statement innings than it was. But despite that, just the kind of innings he needed before this tournament, and I wish him well. Shubman Gill also has secured his place already since he was named as the vice captain. That was what it was going to be, but another fantastic innings today, and I'm sure he will be opening alongside Rohit. Virat Kohli played an on-drive, a great on-drive for four off the fast bowler, but then fortunately there was a big gap between bat and pad where he was playing away from his body to Adil Rashid, who flighted that delivery, was turning away, took the edge. And I hope he gets a good outing in the third ODI, because I feel now Rohit Sharma needed this kind of a confidence from his innings, and now I definitely feel that there wouldn't be any question on him starting in the Champions Trophy. Kohli needs a relatively similar. He doesn't have to go hammer and tongs like Rohit did, but to play in his way and get a substantial contribution in that third match would ease all the talk going into this tournament. Because if he doesn't, and looking at the way he's going, he looks like himself, but with the technical flaws that have been documented by a few with regards to his batting, it doesn't look like he's corrected that for a long while. In the major tournaments, he has scored runs with that flaw, but the moment the confidence goes, that the flaw starts getting exposed in terms of the results that are yielded, then the talk starts. So I think that flaw will be resolved. You can only hope that he plays well in the next match and he goes through the tournament, a short tournament, based on confidence. But we'll have to see how he goes. I hope he goes on the next match. And on this in this match, I won't say sending Shreyas Iyer out at 4 was the incorrect ploy, because I had said before he should walk out no earlier than the 12th over. This was 150 for 2 in the 20th over. It was good that he walked out. But I'd say again, especially in this situation, when you're batting on this kind of a surface against this kind of attack where their best bowler has gone for 78 and 10 overs, what is the need for a left-right combination? Who are you trying to counter? Akshay Patel scored a 95 strike rate, 41 of 43. Did he really counter that much? No. Would KL Rahul, if he had been batting enough time, would he have provided the same contribution? Yes, he would have done. I feel KL Rahul, yeah, he's been getting out in the last 2 innings, yes, but at number 5, he's been doing brilliantly. And if you're going to bat him at 6, then is there a place for him in this side when you've got Hardik Pandya and Jadeja who can do that double gauge, or Hardik Pandya can soak up pressure and unleash at the end, and you're sending Akshar at 5. You've got someone like a Sanju Samson who could play a power hitting role at number 6 and can also keep. So I did not expect them to consider Rahul at number 6 rather than number 5. I feel it's complicating things for a team. Despite only one left-hander in the top 7 in the ODI World Cup squad, they reached the final. So I don't really understand that logic. Apart from that, a great game for India. Jadeja once again with an impactful bowling contribution. Shubman Gill has now reduced all the talk, as has Rohit Sharma. Hopefully Virat Kohli can do. Shreyas said as things should be, as it should have been, he will surely be starting in this team. I hope they stop the Akshar Patel 5 experiment ahead of KL Rahul. It is not needed. Hardik Pandya's bowling, I'm not going to talk about too much because they clearly aren't going to change that. How will it go if he continues to bowl slow balls to everyone he faces? I don't think that would go too well. Hopefully it doesn't get him bowling that many overs. That's all I can say. When Ashdeep Singh is back to have that extra cushion. And so that is on this side. Things are looking very good ahead of the Champions Trophy. Now on England, I'd said at the start, looking at this attack, I didn't think they were going to do much with it. And looking at what they can do for the next series, it doesn't, they've not given them too many options. They're not giving themselves too many options because Tom Banton has been brought in. Who are you going to replace him with? I don't know, because the top 5 is sealed. And you've got Liam Livingstone at number 6, who they won't replace. There's Jamie Overton, who forms part of the bowlers. Are you going to replace him? No. So what's the point of bringing Tom Banton just because you wanted to replace him? I don't understand. Jofra Archer, he surely has to... If you're not thinking of winning the series and just going with what you have, you suffer another humiliating defeat, then that's fine. But at least Bryden Coss has to come back in the side where... He went for at above 10 over in the first ODI, but did he bowl anywhere near as badly as Gus Atkinson bowled today? Has he bowled anywhere near as badly as Gus Atkinson bowled whenever he's played on this tour? I don't think he has done so. He has to be back. Rehan Ahmed ahead of Jamie Overton. You're in India and you're not playing a young wrist-spin prospect. If Adil Rashid chooses to play T20 leagues, what will this team do? Because there is no one who can bowl 10 overs, and the one person who can't do is not threatening, especially in India, to bowl 10 overs. They'll get absolutely hammered by whoever they face. And so Rehan Ahmed has to come in. Bryden Coss has to come in. They can't make any changes with the batting. I don't think they need to make any changes with the batting as far as this went, because this was a template that they would prefer. The only problem is you're going with batting depth rather than people who are either convincing with the bat or convincing with the ball. At number 7, they've got to be convincing with the ball. Liam Dawson would have hung around and would have helped England get more than what they got, I would feel, because if Adil Rashid is scoring the 14 runs at the end, the others didn't do much. Surely Liam Dawson, who isn't someone that would just throw his wicket away at the end, he's a measured player. I feel he could have scored a few boundaries at the end. He could have held one end for Livingston. They would have got more than what they had got. But they aren't considering him, so these are the options that they've got. So that is on. Now, I don't think they'll get out of the group in the Champions Trophy. And if Archer, I think it doesn't seem as if he's injured. They're just resting him. Whether he plays or not, I don't think they'll get out of the group. And on a long-term basis, if they don't pick the bowlers who can bowl fuller lengths, who can bowl 10 overs in a one-day match, especially in the subcontinent, they've got no chance. That's on that, and let's see what these teams do in the next ODI. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?